Today, I want to tell you something over here. Okay, I just came from work right now, and it's just an update of what. Let me set this one. An update that it's a video that I'm making here. The one that traveled my friend from work there. He, he gave me a lift, and that's a video that I'm going to make right here. And it's a story time. Okay, let me remove this one because now I'm not using it. I'm gonna have it this way. Alright. So it's another cool time over here. And it's a story time that I wanna tell you about something that you really need to know about it. The other day I was in Qatar and also following my videos over here on YouTube. I was telling a story about a cow and a hyena. They call it a hyena. It was an interesting story of which I was telling that story, but I came here, I sat down, then I was just watching the video, doing the review before posting. Then I saw it was a very nice story. Then that's why I posted the story. Yeah, the story was about a hyena and a cow. So um, the story was interesting because hyena needs to eat everything. Guys, you should be having that character of just try to be you. Don't don't be that person. It's we call a glutton person. You need to grab each and everything. You need everything at once. You need the money, you need the work, you know. You need everything at once. You cannot manage that one. So it's good to be organized, as in organized. Just be organized, be focused. Like you do one thing at a time. You cannot do everything at the moment. You cannot do everything at the moment. You must be organized. Like if you are if you plan to be a farmer, you know, just choose what kind of farming are you going to do. You know, because you cannot be a farmer who keeps cattle, cattle, and farmer, cattle means animal, like cow, we have goats, camel, you know, and then you can be a farmer at the same time you are a farmer who goes to the market and sell those things. You can be either a producer. You can be a producer. You are the one who's producing the farm products. Producing like milk, vegetable, fruits, name it, anything. Then there are those who are sellers. They want to sell to the market. Let those small uh, sellers or the people who are coming to buy from you do that work of selling to you. You just sit down in your farm, have your office over there, you know, have your system. You have your own system of how you can sell your products without moving from the farm. You stay there at the farm, you just sell everything. So if you're going to be near that farm over there, it means everything in the farm will be running smoothly because you're around. For example, you're doing a farming, some other time you're at the farm, and some other time you are in another city trying to sell this product, you know. So who is managing at the farm at that time? So you see, if you are going to sell, so who is going to produce the product that will be sold tomorrow? So you need to be at the farm. Just be organized. Be organized, as in what I'm talking about. Try to be organized. If you are if you're a driver, be a driver. who drives, always driving, always driving, keep on driving, you know. For example, I talk about the Kenya, because in Kenya we have these things, we call it matri or the How do these how do these guys do work? You find that the driver always sit at the steering wheel over there. He never moves. They are asking the the customers to give him money, but there is a person called Concodi, or we call him a conductor. Eh? He's the one asking that those travelers to is the one to collect the money. So be organized, as in, if I'm doing this work, that's the only work that I'm doing. Mm? If I'm a driver, I'm a driver. I'm concentrating because I know what I'm doing. I have some passengers in my vehicle, and I don't want to cause what? An accident. Just be organized. Okay, so today, all in all, we are going to tell a story. It's a story time. And in Africa, or where I'm coming from, Kenya, those who are telling stories, those are like when we used to go to the grandpa or grandma, automatically, after meal, or yeah, after meal, that means dinner. We call it dinner, but in Kenya we call it supper. After supper, or the dinner, they call it the dinner. It's when you go sit down somewhere, you know, then they will tell you an interesting story, African story, interesting story. That's how we grew that way. We used to listen mostly when we go to the grandma. Grandma will be telling us those story. It is a story time, storytelling, you know. So once upon a time, there was a man. His name was Mulungulu. There was a man called Mulungulu. So Mulungulu used to live in a small city or a small town or a small village. But in this small village, there was a chief. So chief was just going around finding those people who are not working, because chief told them, the chief, chief is like the person who is taking care of the village. Chief. When I say chief, what else? Chief. So there was this guy called Mulungulu. Mulungulu in the village, he was a lazy person. Mulungulu never worked. Mulungulu was a very dirty person. Mulungulu never changed his clothes. So when chief was going around, he was still telling people, hey people of my village, I want you to work hard. I want you to change the name of this village, because I name my village to be the cleanest village in the city. Okay. But there was this guy called Mulungulu. Mulungulu was a very dirty person, lazy person. He never worked. Then the chief had his own army. We call it policeman. He had his policeman. So he came one day when he was at the road. He found Mulungulu. Mulungulu was drunk. He was just going from one side of the road to another side of the road. He was going back, going forward. That person who has taken a lot of alcohol, that was Mulungulu at that time. Mulungulu was a drunkard person in the village, and all the children of that village knew Mulungulu. When Mulungulu came, children could go there, make joke of him. Mr. Mulongolo, Mr. Mulongolo, yeah, Then one day the chief was driving along that road, and Mulongolo he was using that road to go to his house. Then the chief saw somebody coming. It was in the morning. The chief was going to the city. Then he saw Mr. Mulongolo coming. He was drunkard, you know, going from one side of the road to the other side of the road and making a lot of noises. That person, in Africa, when someone drank, he would just shout, like, I'm drunk, I'm okay, I feel free, yo, man, just like that. That's in Africa. So Mlongolo was doing those things. Then Chief was very, very hungry about that, because he knew that it is just in the morning. Now it is 6 in the morning, and people were supposed to be going work, well dressed, well in a tie, and those who are going to the farm, they could be carrying those, we call it in Kenya, jembe, eh? And they will be going to the farm to do some farm work. Then Mlongulu was here. Then he saw the chief's car. He saw, then he stood. He said, ha ha ha, Mr. Chief, this is Mr. Mlongulu, the big boss in the village. Then, Chief was accompanied by his policeman at the back of the vehicle. One of the policemen I was opening the door. Then the chief told him, stop, don't open the door. I want to see what is this guy doing in the morning, and I will talk to him personally. Then Mr. Mlongolo came to the chief's car, and then he came, and then he slapped at the bonnet of the car, at the bonnet over there. They call it the bonnet or the trunk or what, but we call it the bonnet. We call it the bonnet in Kenya, bonnet. Then the policemen were like, wow, what has just happened? What was that? Then Mr. Mulongolo was like, I know you, Mr. Chief. You don't like me. You hate me. You never give me a job. You never employ me. I'm supposed to be a policeman like those people who are sitting at the back of your car. No. Then the chief was like, okay. Chief told Mr. Mulongolo, get inside my car. Get inside my car. Then Mulongolo was like, oh, how can I get there? I'm dirty. To come inside your car. Then the chief told him, come. Then Mr. Mulongolo came into the car. He sat down out there. He told him, okay, I want to give you a job in my office. And Mr. Mulongolo was like, is it for real? Am I going to be employed in your office? The chief said, yeah, I'm going to give you a job today. Then Mr. Mulongolo was taken by the chief. He was given new clothes. Then his long hair was shaved and he looked nice. And then at this time it was the weather was a little bit different. It was too hot, and all over there were a lot of houseflies. The houseflies, they were flying all over. Then the chief was very angry. He told Mr. Mulongolo, your work is to make sure that any housefly that you see around over here flying from one place to another, you make sure that you kill it. You kill it because I don't like houseflies, especially here in my office, especially here in my territory. I don't want to see any housefly flying from one place to another. Hmm. Then Mr. Mlongolo was like, Chief, how will I kill the housefly? It's very hard to kill. I told him, use your common sense. Then the chief ran to his house. He removed a very big, a clamp. Clamp, what we call a clamp? Clamp, clamp. Okay. In Kiswahili, we call it a rungu. Clamp, clamp. Then a stick, a very big stick anyway. Let's put it a stick. Heavy stick. Hmm? Then he gave it to Mr. Mulongo. Mulongolo. He told him, Mulongolo, when you find any housefly over here flying from one place to another, you make sure you do what? You smash it to death, because I don't entertain near any houseflies. Then Mr. Mulongolo said, that's easy work. Then Mr. Mulongolo started his work. He saw some houseflies flying, going on top of furnitures. He goes there, smash it. Then the chief came, Mr. Mulungulu, why did you smash my furnitures? These are very expensive furniture. I told him, how, sir, you told me to be killing this housefly. I'm doing my work. You employ me. I'm doing my work. He said, okay, but be careful, please, Mr. Mulungulu. Mr. Mulungulu said, oh, it's okay. Some days he saw some houseflies flying across the cat. There was a cat there. Then he smashed. Bad luck, he killed a cat. Then the chief came. Why did you kill my cat? Who told you to kill the cat? I told you to kill housefly. And you're here, you kill this cat, an innocent cat. Mr. Mulongolo said, but chief, I'm doing my work. You told me to do my work. You see? So, then there comes a day, there was a day, it was a chief had a very, very big party. And his friends were coming, some other chiefs were coming, friends from other countries, from other cities were coming. And chief was hosting a very, very big party. It was a special party. Now, the people from the village came, and Mr. Mulungulu was there standing with this very long stick and smashing the houseflies all over. Then Mr. Mulungulu was told by chief, please come close to me, because I want you to be here, because you're the person that I trust in this place, because I give you a special work. So the chief was addressing now the congregation over here, and he was telling them, please, I want you to be clean. See now, Mr. Mulungulu, he was a very lazy person, very dirty person. But now Mr. Mulungulu is changing. Now, see, he's clean, and he's employed, he's getting his money, he's getting his salary. Okay. Then the houseflies were flying all over. Then in bad luck, one housefly came to Mr. Chief's forehead over here, and Mr. Mulungulu was there. with this big stick. You know what happened, man? Bah. That's the place, man. Mr. Mlunglu left his, have you ever played golf? He left his stick from over here. And then he do what we call, he was promoting, then he just deliver the message. Bah! To Mr. Chief right over here. Puff! And then Chief was like, oh, Mr. Molongolo, you just killed me. You know? Then Mr. Molongolo was like, ha, Chief, but I'm doing my work. I'm a house fly killer. I'm killing all the house fly. Hmm? And then the chief was very, very angry. Hmm? His forehead now started swelling up to that big like that. And the chief was in pain. Hmm? And all his policemen came. They catch Mr. Mulungu. They told him, we are going to take you to police. But the chief says, stop, stop. Don't take Mr. Mulungu. And the congregation was here. And his friend, other friends and other visitors from other cities, they were like, what happened? What has just happened? Is that the chief being smashed with a big stick over here? And then the chief was in pain. He started to say, from today onwards, if you see any housefly, please never ever use a very big stick to smash the housefly. When you see the housefly, you better just try to, you see the way it goes, then you know the way it goes. And from that day, all the people of that village, when they were seeing housefly, they never use a very big stick, you know. And even if it's on someone forehead, you just do like that's an housefly, you know. And from that day, all people up to date, when they see an housefly going around, they try to do like this, but they are not smashing the housefly. They try to, like, I wanna have it in my hand, then squeeze it, just squeezing it. And that's my story for today. This is Michael JJ. Let's meet again tomorrow for another story. Let me make my YouTube videos over here. Thank you for watching, Michael JJ. And that's my smile. Take care.